Hey, this is Notser, and we are in a user replay. VDSlight is in the Shimakaze, and I appreciate VDSlight sharing this. I appreciate everyone sharing their content with me. If you have a replay you would like to submit, please submit the replay to notserreplay@gmail.com. Please have the replay file, in-score screenshots, 1 to 2 sentence summary, and please include the ship name in the title of the email. It's such a simple thing, but it does help me identify what content I would like to make. Now, the reason I'm, of course, sharing a Shimakaze game is the Shimakaze has changed in 0.6.4, and this is live. What has changed? Well, the turrets traverse quicker, and 2 of the 3 torpedoes have better concealment. VDSlight apparently, now I don't know the build, I haven't seen it, but based on the 9.6 kilometer range torpedoes, I would guess he's using the 12 kilometer range torpedoes, the mid torpedo system, and he's using torpedo acceleration. That is viable. It will have the best concealment improvement from 0.6.3 to 0.6.4, and we'll see how it works out for VDSlight. I have been trying the 8 kilometer range torpedo, and I don't know that that's, I'm trying to benefit from the faster torpedoes and use those 2 points that I would normally invest in torpedo acceleration in something else. But I don't know if it's worth it because you're giving up 1.6 kilometer range torpedoes, and your torpedoes are going to be slightly easier to see. Now, I think they will be moving faster, but they're slightly easier to see. So you have to consider everything. But torpedoes have been sent by the Shimakaze VDS, and hopefully the enemy, who is apparently using the A point as their primary flank, will indeed push forward, maybe into torpedoes, and ooh, enemy Atago decides to get absolutely destroyed by torpedoes. And VDSlight, rightfully so. Let's kill the guy. Let's not let him survive. But he does take a significant AP shot. I believe it was a pin, not a normal one, and he sets him on fire. Game over, man. Game over. The guy is going to burn down. He's just gonna burn down. And is he the one doing the middle finger? I don't know. I didn't catch sight of that. Either way, VDSlight is in a great position on the flank of the enemy. I think more so than any other destroyer line, the Japanese really excel at stalling the enemy's progression on their primary flank. I tried on my Germans and it works pretty well, but the Shimakaze just does so much damage. And usually, this is my interpretation, my experience whenever I play, usually the enemy team is too distracted, and yet, of course, he burns them down. He didn't have his damage control after having to put the flood out. The flood, even. But my experience would dictate that you have a little bit higher chance of hitting around targets because they always assume everyone else is looking out for their own well-being. Clearly, VDSlight has selected the Gorosokua first as his primary torpedo. The replay did not. So he's going off of the indicator, trying to get a little bit of damage on these 2 enemy battleships. Or 3 enemy battleships. Whoa, that's a heavy flank, VDSlight. This is really... I'm just so jealous. Every time I play this ship, it feels like 80 or 90% of the time I'm on the flank that's pushing, and I'm not on the flank that has to receive the enemy. You really don't want to push in a Japanese destroyer, but you absolutely want to volunteer to be the one to hold the enemy team back because it's so much fun. It's so rewarding, and these torpedoes only need to hit 2 or 3 before they really rack up the damage. So it looks like everyone conveniently was able to avoid all torpedoes, of course. That is very familiar to someone like me. Let's face it, someone like me, who misses every torpedo, who doesn't send enough because he's so disappointed in the results. But don't be disappointed here. The Gorosokua first has taken 3, maybe 4 torpedoes, 3 torpedoes, causing a flood. I almost guarantee he's going to put the flood out. Don't even need to see that his health is dropping or not dropping. It's just an assumption when you're in that situation. Now, the 3 enemy battleships, they apparently don't really know. What is causing all of this damage? I wonder what it could be. Could it be the enemy Shimakaze? You know, the one that is sending torpedoes pretty consistently on a flank where you can sort of follow them back to the target? No. We just need to ignore it. If we don't address the destroyer, then it doesn't exist. La 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 la. I always laugh at this strategy like it's gonna be working out for you. It's like, no, it's actually not going to work out. And you know what? That Grosokua first took a full flood. He died. Wow. That is so lucky, VDSlight. And I know VDSlight watches because I've seen him in my Twitch chat. But, oh my. Finding a battleship that can't put out the flood, or can't fix the flood, I guess it's the right way to say it. It takes like 30,000 more damage from flood. It's just like, yes please. In this exact scenario, all 3 enemy ships would push into my ship as quick as they can. They would just annihilate me, force out my smoke, and they would then use hydroacoustic or some combination of detection, and I would be dead. Straight up, be deader than dead. But not VDSlight. He's actually fighting an enemy team that doesn't really care. Oh, torpedoes! How inconvenient. I guess I'll just continue to sail in this similar direction for 4 to 7 minutes. Don't change a thing. That same direction's going to really help out in the future. Mark my words, we'll get over to the enemy position about 3 seconds faster versus trying to maintain some semblance of health. It's always hilarious to me. It's like, gosh, if you see someone die to torpedoes close to you, you basically should try and track him back down. And yeah, of course, he takes out the Notser, the dreaded Notser. He runs in the island and looked like he almost backed up into an island. So he was doubly screwed, triply screwed. And it's just, this is the dream scenario for the Japanese destroyers. It's just so convenient that the enemy team was like, you know what, let's just not worry about it. So as far as the Japanese destroyer gameplay is concerned from 0.6.4, I'm really thinking about going the mid-tier turrets and going torpedo acceleration. You get the most from the concealment. Now, it will not reach the same exact speeds, but it's pretty close, and you have a little bit more range. 1.6 kilometer, roughly. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. It allows you to do so many other things that you just can't do. And this enemy aircraft carrier, he's between a rock and a hard place. He's got an island to deal with and nowhere to go, and he's going to take full broadside of torpedoes and be annihilated. And VDSlight just cheerfully sailing back and forth, waiting on that torpedo reload, that super reload, and using it against the enemy. It does appear that VDSlight is having success when you use 2 and 1, not all 3 at the same time, not 1 individually. I'm going to try and incorporate that playstyle. I appreciate the replays. It's like, hey, wow, I'm going to steal that. Someone's really good at the game. Take it. Yoink. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that sort of thing. Because it's like, well, if they're going to try and do that, well, they're just going to have to deal. There's always going to be torpedoes coming. Now, those torpedoes are not going to hit. The Iowa is extremely fast. You can't underestimate just how fast the Iowa is. It's one of the, if not the fastest battleship in the game. You can make it even faster by getting these signal flags. You can't get a speed boost, but I'm not putting that past Wargaming to put a speed boost for a battleship. Let's face it. It's just to differentiate the ships. It's not going to encourage different gameplay or maybe cause us to undervalue the skill itself out of fear for the ultimate worst scenario. VDSlight, probably the least successful torpedo strike he's used all day. He basically only got one. No flood, no force damage control. It doesn't appear that he has damage control though, since he is indeed taking a lot of damage. But he's going for the superstructure, guys. When you are a small caliber gun, you cannot fire at the bow, you can't fire at the guns, you can't fire at the side when it's angled like that. The effective armor, well, you can't fire at the sides because the armor is too thick. Your caliber has to basically overmatch by 14 in order to do damage to a well-angled part of the ship, and 14.3 to be precise. It's not 14, it's 14.3. Repeating, of course. Yeah. So everyone's dead on the enemy team except one, the Z-52, and he's using hydroacoustic. So, VDSlight, he knows you're coming. And I don't know why you are going to continue going forward, other than maybe to give him a free kill, because you are very low. You're not under that 10% thing, though, which is hilarious, because I think 10%, a lot of stuff kicks in for being a part of it, as far as the stream size, but couldn't do it. Z-52 was able to kill him outside of his smoke because he had hydroacoustic. The Z-52 is going to force the enemy to get close in order to even detect him. And we have VDSlight who sent torpedoes forward, but they haven't made contact yet. Friendly Kagero is also willing to die. And yep, the Z-52 takes him out, but the Z-52 dies to torpedoes. How did that happen? You had hydroacoustic, I thought. VDSlight did a great job this game. Liquidator, Witherer, Confederate, Kraken Unleashed, Devastating Strike, High Caliber, and killing the target after you die. 6 kills, over 300,000 damage done, 2,975 base XP. You just, VDSlight, you got so lucky. Now, I don't know if the better concealment was a factor, but clearly it was a great game, and VDSlight admits this is the highest damaging game he's ever had, in the Shimakaze at the very least, and it comes after the improvements, so perhaps it was the difference maker. It could also be that a lot of those guys were lazy and they just weren't paying attention to the threat. After you see a guy die on the flank to torpedoes, it's a good bet that you might be the next one. Thank you, VDSlight. I hope everyone enjoyed seeing the Shimakaze in 0.6.4. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.